This graph, this parabola, is showing us the path of a ball. So here's where the ball starts, right? Somebody's standing there, and they're throwing the ball. So obviously the ball does not start on the ground. We wouldn't throw a ball from the ground, right? You wouldn't pick it up off the ground and try to throw it. The x-axis is the ground, right? The person is here, and they're throwing the ball, and then it's showing the path of the ball. The ball goes up, reaches a height, and then it comes down, and it hits the ground, right? So if I were to ask you, how high off the ground was the ball when it started? Could you look at the graph and tell me how high off the ground was the ball when it started? It was right here, oops, which is at 1.5, which means that the ball was 1.5 meters off the ground to start. So think about it. The first question says, what was the maximum height that the ball reached? You throw it up in the air, and how high did it get? That's the highest point of the parabola. The y-axis represents the height. How many meters was it off the ground? I mean, the highest point it reached was how many meters? 9 meters. How far had the ball traveled horizontally, that means this way, to reach that maximum height? So it went up 9 meters, but how far did it have to travel horizontally? So it started at 0, and then how far away was it from the person who threw it when it reached that maximum height? How far horizontally did it travel? Good. 10 meters. So that is actually the coordinate of the, do you remember what this point is called? The highest or lowest point? Starts with a V? Vertex. 10, 9. So the 10 meters tells us the horizontal distance, and the 9 meters tells us the height of the ball. It traveled 10 meters to get to the highest point. And then the last question was, what horizontal distance did the ball travel before it hit the ground? So altogether, from the starting point to the end point, when did it hit the ground? How many meters did it travel? Look at the graph. When does it hit the ground? Right here. How many meters is that? 21 meters. Okay? So if I started at here, I threw the ball, and it traveled 21 meters, and it got up to 9 meters high. Okay, so same type of question. We're looking at the path of a ball again. So this is the path of the ball, and you are trying to figure out the maximum height the ball reached, how far the ball traveled horizontally to reach that maximum height, the horizontal distance when it hit the ground, when is the ball above 5 meters, at what horizontal distance, and what horizontal distance is the ball at 8 meters high, right? This is the highest point, which is the vertex. How high off the ground was the ball? 9 meters. And at how many meters did it travel horizontally to get to the highest point? It started at 0, and then what did it? 8. That's the number 8. I know you can't really see it here. It traveled 8 meters horizontally to reach this maximum height. When did the ball hit the ground? Here, that is 17 meters. I'm going to add a question. How high off the ground was the ball when the guy threw it? 2 meters. That's when they threw the ball. It was 2 meters off the ground. When was the ball above 5 meters? At what horizontal distance was the height? So you have to figure out when the height was 5 meters. The y-axis represents height, right? And the x-axis represents horizontal distance. So when did the ball have a height of 5 meters? Let's find that point. This is 5. What was the horizontal distance it traveled to get to 5 meters? How many meters? 2 meters. How about when the ball was at 8 meters above the ground? How many meters did it travel? 5. but there's actually two answers for each, right? The ball goes up, but then it must come down. So it actually was at a height of 5 meters above the ground here and here. How far did it travel to get back to 5 meters? What's this number here? So it was 2 meters and 14 meters. And then when it was 8 meters above the ground, right? A parabola is symmetrical. Remember this? It was at 5 meters and how many meters? 11. That's 11, right?